In a small, dusty village in Burkina Faso, a boy named Ibrahim Traore grew up with nothing but love in his heart and dreams in his eyes. His mother, Mary, was poor, but she never let her son feel it. She woke up early every day, tied an old scarf on her head, and carried heavy baskets of vegetables to the local market, just to earn enough money to feed her only child. She had no gold, no car, no servants, just her hands, her strength, and her endless love. She would often say, "We are not poor, my son. We just don't have money." And Ibrahim believed her, even when there was only one piece of bread in the house. She gave it to Ibrahim and told him she had already eaten. But he could see through her. Her stomach would growl, her eyes looked tired. Her hands were dry from work. But she always smiled and said, "I'm okay, my son. You eat." That image stayed with him forever. And as he grew older, he made a promise deep in his heart. One day, I will take my mother out of this life of suffering. She will wear clean clothes, eat warm meals, and rest. Ibrahim studied hard. He walked miles to go to school. He had no school bag, just a plastic bag with a few books. His sandals were torn, and he often had to skip lunch because they couldn't afford it. But he never gave up. His mother always waited for him at home with a cup of water, a simple meal, and a hug. She would massage his tired feet and tell him, "One day, you will lead men. One day, you will be a lion." And he believed her. Years passed, and Ibrahim joined the army. He worked hard, respected everyone, and became known as a brave soldier. He spoke kindly, helped others, and always remembered his mother's teachings. Slowly, his name became popular, not just in the army, but all over the country. And one day, against all expectations, he became the president of Burkina Faso, but he never changed. He still lived simply and still visited his mother every week. Even when he became powerful, he never forgot where he came from. Instead of buying his mother gold and diamonds, he built her a small, peaceful house near the palace. He would sit on the floor, eat from her hands, and say, "Nothing tastes better than your food, Mama." She would smile, pat his head, and whisper, "You haven't changed. That's what makes me proud." One day, Ibrahim was invited to a business event at a luxury hotel in the capital. Rich men in suits were there, people with cars, watches, and fancy words. They spoke of profits, land, and power. Ibrahim listened, but he didn't care about money. He cared about his people. Just before the meeting started, he received a call. His mother had come to see him. She was waiting under a tree outside the hotel. He ran out happily, his guards behind him. When he saw his mother, sitting with a cloth bag and wearing her old scarf, his face lit up. "Mama," he shouted like a little boy. He hugged her, held her hand, and helped her stand. But some people at the door were watching. One of the rich businessmen turned to another and said loudly, "That's the president's mother? She looks like a beggar." Then he laughed. Ibrahim heard it. So did his mother. She stayed quiet, pretending not to notice. But Ibrahim's heart was on fire. He turned around slowly and walked straight to the man. His face was calm, but his eyes were burning. The businessman smiled nervously, trying to act polite. "It was just a joke, Mr. President," he said. "I just meant, your mother looks simple." Ibrahim stood still. Then he said, "Do you know who this woman is? She is the reason I am standing here today. She is my strength, my hero, my world. While your mother gave you wealth, mine gave me values. While your mother wore gold, mine wore pain. And today, you dare insult her." The room went silent. People stopped talking. Everyone listened. He continued, his voice shaking with emotion. "My mother walked barefoot so I could have shoes. She slept hungry so I could eat. She cried alone so I could smile. And you call her a beggar?" His hands tightened into fists, but he didn't hit. He didn't scream. He stood tall. You may have money, sir, but you have no heart. The businessman looked around. People were staring. He tried to laugh it off, but no one laughed with him. Ibrahim turned to his security and said, "Please escort this man out. I don't do business with people who insult mothers, especially not mine." The guards moved forward, and the businessman panicked. "Wait, please. I didn't mean it. I'll apologize." But Ibrahim shook his head. Respect can't be bought with apologies. It must live in your soul. And clearly, yours is empty. The businessman was removed from the hotel. The crowd clapped, not because the president had power, but because he had courage. He didn't defend a throne. He defended a mother. Ibrahim walked back to his mother. She was wiping her tears. "You didn't have to do that," she whispered. "I'm just a village woman." He smiled and said, "No, Mama. You are the queen of my life. If someone insults you, they insult my soul." He kissed her hand, helped her into his car, and said, "Come with me. Let's go home." From that day on, people across the country began treating their mothers with more respect. They shared the story of how their president stood up for his mother like a lion. His words were printed in newspapers, shown on TV, and told from one village to another. And whenever someone asked, "Why do you love your mother so much?" Ibrahim simply said, "Because everything I am came from her." The story of that day spread far and wide. It was not just about a powerful man. It was about the power of a mother's love. It reminded people that true greatness doesn't come from money or fame or suits. It comes from the woman who raised you when no one else believed in you. And that is why people say, "You won't believe what Ibrahim Traoré did when his mother was insulted by a rich businessman," but he did it with love, honor, and pride.